quoting you here, Tom, the biggest differentiating factor in that study was family background.
Yes.
And explain that.
Well, the ones who were in that top third, they came from families that were more educated. The ones who were in that bottom third, something like almost 30% or so, had a parent who had dropped out of school before the 8th grade. So it doesn't matter how much brain power you may have. If you're not raised in a home where people are thinking, where they're doing intellectual things, you're not in the same position as someone with the same IQ who's in a family that has that kind of background.
So the point is, you've got these 1,500 brilliant kids. You follow them for 50 years, and if nobody knew anything else about them, they'd say, gee, some of these people are relatively poor, and some of these people are relatively unfortunate by comparison with the others. And Tom Sowell says, well, the genetic argument is ruled out of bounds immediately because they're all brilliant. They're all in the top 1% in terms of smarts. But so is the argument that anybody victimized them. The principal factor that accounted for success as opposed to failure or ending up was family background. And that's really not victimization. That's a question of almost cosmic luck.
Absolutely.
What kind of family? That's right? Is that
yes,
right?
This is why I spend so much time on the difference between the firstborn child and the others.
Oh, explain that.
Well, I first became aware of this years ago when I came across some data on the finalists for the National Merit Scholarships. And in 5-child families, that finalist was the firstborn more often than the other 4 put together. And in 4-child families, that firstborn was the finalist more often than the other 3, and 2-child, wherever you do it. And the only child who does better than the firstborn is the only child. And then the other thing is that twins tend to have several points lower average IQ than people who are born one at a time. And so when you put all that together, it suggests that the amount of parental attention a child gets makes a huge difference in the future.
I see. But again, you can't,
the
argument of victimization doesn't really apply there. That's more.
Nor does genetics.
Right.
They're born to the same parents and raised under the same roof.
Right. All right. The costs of discrimination.